Hello, hello.
Hello, how you all doing? This is Marvelous Discussions, right?
hmm
Discussions, right? Yeah. And we are doing this again, obviously. And today we have a huge topic. I'm here with my great co-host, Mike Churchella.
That's me, and this is Matt Kelly.
How you doing? How you doing? We are back here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our previous episode. Make sure you guys go, check that out, right?
Like,
We'll check out,
subscribe,
subscribe us here. Hit the notification button. That's a big thing they do nowadays.
yep.
You have to hit that notification button.
And comment below any
Yeah,
Marvel topics you want us to
that's
talk
right.
about. We can
That's
do
right.
anything.
If you guys have anything about what we're talking about today, please drop it down below about your thoughts and comments about what you guys think about what we're talking about. So, what are we talking about today, Mikey?
Today we are talking about season 1 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Which stands for what now?
Strategic Homeland. I want to say it's invasion, but I know it's not.
No, but I will help you with the rest
Tell
of
me
it.
with the I.
It is intervention,
Enforcement
logistics.
Division.
There you go.
That does it. The I always gets me.
And there you go, there you go. Well, they changed it a bunch of times, but it's the most, what we just said is the most recent of the actual ones, is what the Avengers or the MCU is using that acronym we just spelled out.
Right.
And we're going to talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's one of my favorite shows. What about you?
I would call it probably the top one, maybe two best like Marvel TV shows.
Fair enough. I agree with you. I think Daredevil has a little more action, though, so I do like, the Daredevil a little bit more, but it's not really connected to, this. So I really do like this. So if you don't know what I'm talking about and what we're talking about today, we're talking about Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which premiered on ABC back in 2013. I want to say 13. It was right after the Avengers, wasn't it? The first Avenger movie. So
Yeah.
it was before Captain America too.
No, I think it was before Captain America too. Yeah.
Yeah, Winter Soldier.
It was in between the first Avengers
Right.
and the Winter Soldier movie.
Right,
And it ties into both. It's
the first Avenger was
I believe this is why I find it to be one of the best, if not the best, Marvel TV shows, because it does such a good job tying in. Because they all claim to be tied in. This one, you get guest stars like Samuel L. Jackson's on it.
Colby Smulders.
Yes, Kobe Smulders. A bunch of other people who you see throughout
Haley Atwell. I couldn't even think of her name. We were just talking about her.
I was just calling Peggy Carter, honestly.
Oh, jeez. And then, of course, you have all the other times, too. I mean, they got a big name. They got Bill Paxton. May he rest in peace, as you know, he passed away a few years ago. But they got Bill Paxton in the first season. They got a lot of big freaking names for this show. And they all tie in. They're all references. And then they do all different tie-ins to the whatchamacallit, too. I'm trying to think. They do tie-ins to the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Like into the movie. Sorry, I had a bit of a brain fog.
Like Sif from Thor, she comes down and she's like, she's a character.
Right,
and so like everything that happens feels like an organic part of the movie. So when Nick Fury in the movie says like, oh, I have to go talk to some people. Then you see him in an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Hi. He's like, Coulson, you destroyed my plane.
Right, and like you realize that's what he's doing, like when he's not on screen in the.
Can we talk about the big one they got back, who's actually in head of this whole show? I mean, we're talking about big names here. Clark Gregg, who plays Coulson, is back. And we'll talk why in a few minutes here. We'll get into it. But sorry, I screamed at the top of my lungs. I was just so excited. I'm okay. If you don't know what happened, spoiler alert. I'll put it down in the comments below as always, by the way. Loki stabs him with his scepter and literally he's like this, and I was just like, no!
Yeah, and
I was crying. I was literally crying.
Like his blood's on Captain America's trading cards, and that's what brings them together in the first movie.
And then there's this thing called Tahiti. I have no clue what it stands for. But there's this thing called Project Tahiti, and it's a magical place. Remember that, Mike? It's a magical place.
So Coulson comes back, and he doesn't know what happened in between getting stabbed and the beginning of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
He just said that it was a very dark place. It was very magical.
Yeah, so he can't recall the memories.
Obviously.
So they're like, oh, the Coulson, how are you alive? He goes, oh, they sent me to Tahiti. It's a magical place.
It's a magical place.
And throughout
the season, I kept mentioning it, and all of a sudden, one time Coulson goes up to what's his name, S.H.I.E.L.D. because S.H.I.E.L.D's also in it, and we'll get to S.H.I.E.L.D. Jasper S.H.I.E.L.D., by the way, he was also a very high-rank agent in S.H.I.E.L.D., and you saw him in Captain America, you saw him in a few of the Iron Man movies, he was always bouncing about. In the movie S.H.I.E.L.D. So, and there's a reason why I'm talking about him. But I remember he goes up to S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's like, "How is Tahiti?" And Coulson's like, "It sucked." Like completely, he's like, "It sucked." Like, so that's kind of when he started realizing that Tahiti was
it's not what he thinks it is.
But okay, so talking about the stores, definitely want to talk about. So the plot basically, Coulson is getting together a ragtag team of. Can you call them misfits or professional agents?
I call them the best of the best, but they're all misfits.
The best of the best. I like that.
Right, because they are the best in each of their fields. They're just also really not good at working together.
But yeah, they hate each other. But then they're all falling in love with each other too. So that's always a thing.
Yeah. So we got Coulson, obviously. He's team
Philip J. Coulson. The leader of this ragtag team of professional agents, or misfits, as Church called it. Then you have, who do you want to go with first?
Let's go with Agent May. Let's go by order of
authority. Okay, so Agent May is she level 8 or is she level 7 or is she on the same level as
level 7? She's I think one level below Coulson.
Okay. The level below Coulson is what Ward is. Ward's 6. He gets bumped up to 7.
Right. Then Agent May is 7.
Agent May 7. Yeah.
I'm no good with numbers, my friend.
That's fine. Access numbers. These are the numbers that they do a rank. S.H.I.E.L.D. has a ranking system, and what S.H.I.E.L.D. does is they go 1, 2, 3, 4, and they get the level of clearance.
So you only know what you're allowed to know by your level.
Correct. So, for example, the best example is in the beginning of the opening scene when, Maria Hill, Colby Smulders, again.
Robin Scherbatsky.
Yeah. Is interviewing, Grant Ward, which is, Brett Dalton's character. And he's like, I got level 6 because, they're interviewing. And he's like, I read the Battle of New York about how Coulson died. And I have level 6 access. Coulson, this is my favorite part of the whole entire series. Walks through the door. The lights are dimmed, kind of like this. And he walks through the door, and he's like, "Welcome to level 7." I'm like, I was like, that's just really something I think always funny. And he's like, the light is out in the corner there. You might want to. And then he looks at the guard. He goes, "You might want to get that fixed. You might want to look at the light." But May, though, is going back to her real quick. Yes. Sorry, I got a little off topic, but I just wanted to give an example. She's 7, Ward 6,
and
Fitzsimmons. They're 5, right?
I believe they're 5.
They're 5, right? In the beginning of this, yeah, they have level 5 access. Fitzsimmons, we'll get to them in a second, but we got to talk about Grant Ward. My favorite
agent. Let's go a little into Agent May.
Okay, so we can't go much because we can't tell them yet about what happened.
Right, but so what you know about her in the first season? She's very quiet. She is extremely good at fighting. Like, she is arguably the best. She
used to be one of the best S.H.I.E.L.D. agents there was, and now she's working in an office. And also in that first episode, I love this when Coulson he goes, "You don't belong in an office chair. You belong out in the field with me. Like, come and join my team, May. Like, don't be stupid. Like, I'm giving you an opportunity here."
Would you say she's the best fighter? Like, hand to hand, she's the best fighter on the show?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I can arguably say that, sure. There's a few other good ones though too.
At least in season 1, though, she's the best hand-to-hand fighter by far. And you find this little by little. Like, at first she just flies the plane, and then she goes and she beats down these dudes, and they're like, "What?"
Yeah, right. I like.
Sorry.
You okay there? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all good. Like I said,
Oh, and she's voiced by Mulan. Fun fact.
Okay, yeah, Ming Na Wang. I think I probably said the wrong. I apologize if she watches this. Oh my God. Plays Agent May, and yeah, she's really cool. That does, it's funny. Move on. Is kind of an ass kicker, and May's also an ass kicker, so that's always fun too. So there's also a bunch. Gets her involved, and she doesn't want the job at all. So
all she agrees to do is fly the plane, and she slowly gets roped into
and later on, she's like, "I didn't sign up for this." But there's a thing about May later on this season that actually is a big. I'm glad you brought her up first because there's a big tie-in with Captain America and all this and everything. She's a huge player in what she does later on to them in the season. Okay, so next one.
Grant Ward. You want to talk about him, or should I?
Can I?
Of course.
Oh God. Okay. Agent Grant Ward is one of my favorite characters, probably my favorite character besides Coulson. And I was like, first time I watched it, I was like, this guy's a badass. Like, this guy's special ops. Like, just like go in there, he's like gets the job done, shoots the and is like done. Like, I love that. Like, I love that type of, those black op type of people. Like, he's like special forces to like the extreme. And the reason why I like Ward is because his hair's slicked back. He's all chill. He's all business, and all of a sudden he's like standing there like because somebody wanted their name to spell out S.H.I.E.L.D. Like he's kind of like a cocky, like kind of asshat, if you will. I kind of like that.
But he's good at his job, so he's allowed to be.
I do like that. That he's good at his job, and I think that's why Coulson brought him on originally. And bumped him up to 7 and put him on his team because he's the one who needs to get stuff done. Ward's the type of person who gets stuff done. You know what I'm saying? Ward will get it done, and he doesn't care how he does it.
Right.
He will kill on sight. He does not give a damn. And that's what I really like. I like that he doesn't care.
But he's not a team player in the beginning, and that's his like.
Well, yeah, I feel like Ward was never a team player because of what he did later on. And then we'll talk about that.
But if you remember, he slowly starts getting closer with the team. Like there's one scene that I always think of when I think of Grant Ward is they're all making fun of him and doing like Grant Ward impressions. They're like, "Oh, I'm Agent Grant Ward. Like I'm the best."
Right.
And then he walks in and they're all like, "Oh no," and he's like. And like they're freaking out. He's like, "Don't worry, guys. Like we're gonna take care of it." He's like, "You know why?" And they're like, and he's like, "Cause I'm Agent Grant Ward." And I died when I saw it. Like I actually went on Twitter. I tweeted at him about that. Yeah. I was like, that is like the funniest thing, which really just makes it more like a kick to the balls later.
Yes.
Which we will get to as soon as we finish all the other characters.
I was happy but upset. I was like, really? But
I was like no.
Cool. No. He knew, by the way. He knew it. I looked into it. He actually knew. They told him before.
Yeah.
The whole thing of what went down. So, anyway, Fitzsimmons. The lovable, hateable,
In season 1, they're just lovable. They're adorable in season 1.
What?
They're adorable.
I don't know.
They're
annoying.
No, it's this British girl named Simmons and this Scottish dude named Fitz. And they went to the academy together. They're both young, and they're both super geniuses. And they do all this
She's biochem. He's...
tech.
Something engineering or some crap like that. I don't know.
So together, they essentially are I don't call them the Deus Ex Machina of the show. Like they can do anything that needs sciencing. It's like, oh, this poison that has no cure. It's like, oh, we'll cure it.
Right. I was never a big fan of Fitz and Simmons.
I like Fitz and Simmons.
What's her name? Elizabeth Henry. She's pretty hot. I'll be honest. She is hot, but I just always found them just annoying. Like in the beginning, like I liked them, but then like you said last week, they just went on. It just got more annoying.
But in season 1, they never hit that point. In season 1, I'd say they're likable through the entire thing.
Okay.
So they should we mention their romance or no?
We can a little bit. They have the ocean scene at the end of season 1.
So throughout, right, Simmons doesn't really show any signs of liking Fitz. Fitz is super into Simmons, but doesn't ever tell her.
No. But always cares. And I feel like Simmons always cared about Fitz.
Oh yeah, they always had like a really strong bond.
Like I always felt like they always had like you said, strong bond. I always felt like she cared, but she never really cared. Like in season 1, like a friendlier way. If they were ever in danger, it was a problem. So. Right. So who else is on this team?
Oh, well, there's of course my girl Sky.
Yes.
She is a hacktivist. That's the exact.
She's not really on the team. She just tags along with them because she never gets clearance until Coulson gives her clearance. I think that's level episode 3 or 4. She gets level
Which means
1
she's on the team
clearance.
after she's an orphan. They catch
Right.
her. She hacked them, right?
Yeah.
So
She hacked Shield. Yeah.
so this girl like hacked Shield from a van, and so they take her whole van into their huge plane, which is called the bus. It's not actually a bus; it's like a giant airship.
Yeah.
So they take her van, and they basically say, "Yeah, you're going to get arrested." But she ends up getting roped into their adventures, and they realize they could really use her. She's like,
Well, she becomes a huge player later on in this, and I didn't even know they set that up. Like,
she's
I
the
didn't
main
even know
character
there
of the
was
show. Like, spoiler for you, like,
I didn't even know they set that up the way they did.
Yeah.
We talked about a little bit last week. We're gonna won't break down every season of Shield here, but I do want to break down this one here. This season was awesome, and the Sky bringing in. I didn't know what they were gonna do until it all went down. I was like, oh, okay. So, I like Sky. Ward and Sky had a thing for each other.
Oh yeah,
And
big time.
that was pretty good. Because I loved it. They made out, and then after that they fought. They fought some more. Then they made out again. They fought some more.
Yeah.
And then Ward did that thing, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes.
And Ward
again.
and May also had a thing.
Ward
right?
and May had one night stand.
But he started.
He did that to get information on her, which goes into the thing we'll talk about in a few minutes. Again, I can't really give it away yet because we still need to break it down a little bit.
So he allegedly started to catch feels for May.
Yes.
And she was like grow up, like you're like a senior agent now. You shouldn't be falling in love with people after a one night stand. And he's like,
but I think he also did it for more information because he said he really didn't have feelings for May. He told Sky he has feelings for her when he did what he did. He wanted her to go with him.
So we should.
I thought that was
now we need to just drop the
whoa there, partner.
We got it. We've been building it up so much. We got to tell.
I know there. Well, hold on here, champ. I wanted to bring up first before anything else. S.H.I.E.L.D. They're the ones who bring the weird into the weird. So basically, they're the ones who clean up messes after superheroes.
Yep.
And that's what they do. They clean up the Battle of New York. They cleaned up and that's actually a little bit of Spider-Man Homecoming. You see S.H.I.E.L.D. cleaning up the Battle of New York a little bit. You see them in London. They go to London because of what happened with Thor, bring up Lady Sif. All that. They're the ones who go all over the place to clean up these these 084s, which is an unidentified, thing. So
be it magical or alien, that is, they go and they clean up the messes that the normal authorities cannot handle.
Correct. They can't handle, and they make people disappear, kind of like what the Men in Black does. Like they make people, forget everything happened. Like the Battle of New York happened. They mentioned Battle of New York happened, and no one knew about, no one cared about the next day.
Yeah.
They weren't talking about that. And they mentioned that in one, I think, Age of Ultron, I think something about that. But anyway, so they do that. And I want to bring up real quick, because I actually got to meet him at New York Comic Con, J. August Richards, Mike Peterson, my favorite. Can I just say who he is?
You can, and then we can talk about the general antagonist plot line of this.
Okay, and then we can go into Ward and what he did.
Okay, that's the plan. We got the plan.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So Mike Peterson is a superhero who has a kid. But he's not really a super. He is a superhero, but he's not really a superhero because he's not really built for being a superhero. He just saved a bunch of people from a building and the opening. And he becomes Deathlock later on. I love Deathlock. I got to meet Jay back at New York Comic Con 2016. And I was like, truly, I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, he was such a nice guy. We started talking there about Captain America, about the show. And did you know that the suit, actually, he had to wear is really heavy? He said the suit of armor is actually really heavy. When they got him in the suit, he goes, it's like an extra like 20, 30 pounds on him. And he's a pretty jacked dude. Like you can see how in my Instagram, you can see how tall he is. He's freaking tall. Yeah. And they got this giant suit on. And it doesn't look anything like in the pictures or in the show, it doesn't look big. But he said it was freaking pretty big. And that's another thing. The budget for the show is fantastic too. The costumes are amazing, and the Deathlock costume was one of the best interpretations I think they did of the character. I love Deathlock, so I think talking a little bit about Mike Pearson, because Mike Pearson kind of helps them throughout the first few seasons. Yeah. He gets involved a little bit with some of their missions as well.
Yeah, so he's basically a city dad who is raising his son by himself, I believe.
Correct.
And Mom left him, had an injury during work because he was working in like a factory or something.
Some sort of plant, some sort of factory plant,
And a doctor approaches him and says, I can make you not only fully healed, but like 10 times stronger than you ever were. And he's like, done, like do it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
They give him this serum, and it turns out that he's actually one of many guinea pigs throughout season one. For Project Centipede, which is
here we go.
Some secret person known as the Clairvoyant who has everyone's working for this mystery clairvoyant because he claims to be psychic. He can see the future.
Right.
And throughout they keep reiterating we have never once because S.H.I.E.L.D. keeps a list of all like powered people. There aren't many. Like most of their powers in season one are pretty weak.
Yeah.
Like there's one guy who can do like little fire tricks. They make like a little like
right.
But he can't like human torch someone. They give him a thing, and now he can like blast fire everywhere. He becomes Scorch.
Yes.
So essentially, this is people with minor powers gaining mega powers, and everyone's working for this guy.
It's not good. I'll tell you that. It's not good at all. But.
And so S.H.I.E.L.D. keeps trying to stop them, and like they'll blow up on their labs, and they're like, "Oh, but before they blow up our lab, we perfected like this serum, and it's like we have the perfect injector now."
Yeah, and just so they're trying to track down the Clairvoyant throughout the entire thing, and they keep guessing who's this one, who's that one.
Sorry, my phone's gonna keep ringing because our solicitor's calling me every time.
I'll cut this part out. Fair enough. Okay, right. We'll cut that out there. That was at 20 minutes. Okay. Right. Okay. So going back. Right. Yeah. So anyway,
they're all trying to get the Clairvoyant.
They're trying to get the Clairvoyant. There we go. We're back on the track here. They're back. They're trying to get the Clairvoyant, and what they do is they try to track him or her down. And the problem is they have no clue who it is.
And Coulson doesn't even think they exist because they've never had a like clairvoyant person on their list of super people.
Correct. Like they've never had anybody. Like I can't. Now the person they think who could be is actually a real agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. was Victoria Ham, who had the same access as Coulson. Because in one of the clips I watched earlier, I watched a clip. Saying that, Han says, be careful out in the field or whatever. Coulson says to her, be careful out in the field because we are probably the highest ranking S.H.I.E.L.D. agents there are right now. Yeah. So they think it's Han. Personally, it wasn't. I love Victoria Han. I'm glad they brought her in to the show. I'm glad they brought the Hub because the Hub is a huge S.H.I.E.L.D. base that gets overran, and we'll tell you why in a second here. So they're tracking the Clairvoyant. They think that, Victoria Hand's involved some way, somehow. But John Garrett is also involved, too. Another highly ranked S.H.I.E.L.D. Operative
Coulson's
as well.
old friend, John Garrett.
John Garrett and Ward's superior officer as well.
He's who brought Ward into S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's right. So, and there was a reason why he did that, ultimately.
It's because...
Hold on here now. Mike is just dying to talk about this.
I want to drop the bomb.
Spoiler alert, in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, which you can watch now anywhere pretty much, there is a thing that we learn that, what's his name? Artemin Zemo? Is that how you say it? The German scientist dude? Right? Is that how you say his name?
No, you're thinking of Baron Zemo.
That's it. That's the one. That's the one.
No, that's a different guy.
What?
That is the guy.
No, that's the guy who's in the computer.
No, that's Zola, not Zoloff.
The one that worked with Red Skull, the German scientist.
Yeah. Oh, the midget guy. What is his name?
Yeah.
It's not Zemo. Zemo is the head of Hydra in Avengers 2.
Okay.
He is
Okay.
Zola.
That's it.
Zola.
That's it. We're gonna have to go back on some of this. Anyway, besides that,
so Dr. Zola is in the computer. You're the guy who worked with Red Skull.
Creepy, by the way. Yeah. He's like, don't know, Captain. I never died. He's like, I lived through this working computer.
Yeah. And it's like the old-fashioned computer where it's like the entire building is like a computer with a little like 10-bit screen with like a little
with a little like camera like ours. Like, I'm like, it's creepy. Like, when I first seen it, I was like, damn.
Creepy.
So, okay, so he says for 70 years, it's 70 by the way, I looked into it, Hydra has been in S.H.I.E.L.D. After Hydra was defeated in World War II, it turns out, Mike, spoiler alert,
they infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. So as S.H.I.E.L.D. has grown, there's been a little nugget of Hydra growing within them. Hail Hydra! Turns out in Civil War, or not Civil War,
Age of Ultron?
No, Winter Soldier. That's when it gets dropped. Hydra's taken over. S.H.I.E.L.D's fallen.
Yep, and the Triskelion goes boom.
Yes.
The Triskelion was a S.H.I.E.L.D. base, by the way. Might as well bring up all the S.H.I.E.L.D. bases talking about the hub. It was a big S.H.I.E.L.D. base that they actually referenced in the show, believe it or not. They referenced saying that the Triskelion has fallen and they got blown up. And Coulson's just like, damn. Like in his head, Coulson's just that frown in his face, just like, damn, we're really screwed here, but we still have to do our jobs. Yeah. And that's why I like S.H.I.E.L.D. at the end of the day, because they still do their jobs at the end of the day. They still carry on, and I like that. But, so here's how this works. Here's the deal here with this, guys. In the episode, so after Winter Soldier, the events of the Winter Soldier, it goes right back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yep. And the episode turn, episode 17, we find out that John Garrett
is the clairvoyant.
He works for, he is I can't say the head of Hydra, but he's one of the heads of Hydra. Because remember, you cut off the head, two more grows back. Yeah. Remember that. Remember that for later, too. We'll be talking about that.
Yeah, so he's basically been running this whole Project Centipede.
That's right.
He's not really clairvoyant. He's been using, high access S.H.I.E.L.D. knowledge.
That's right.
And that's how he's been one step ahead of them the whole time. So it also turns out, big plot twist, Grant Ward is also Hydra, because he's been working for...
I wanted to say it. Damn. That's fine. That's fine. All right.
You can repeat it if you want. It's big news.
It's fine. Here, like Mike said here, Ward's Hydra, and he's one of the highest operatives for Hydra, one of the highest ranking Hydra officers, and he becomes the leader of Hydra after Garrett dies. After they kill Garrett, he becomes the leader of of Hydra, and I was just like, damn, this just really. And then he wants Sky to come with him. Come with me, Sky. Yeah. We'll be okay. We'll run away together. Join Hydra. Great recruiting tool, Ward. You did a bang-up job. You've been fighting with this chick the entire season, right? And then all of a sudden, you're like, you want her to go join you on your quest for world domination? Get the hell out of here.
And she goes with him, though, right?
No, she goes with him only to, get information.
That's what I mean. She does go with him. She's playing him. So she can leave clues for the others.
The team, the rest of the team who has to hide out. And I find that funny because talking about big names, who they got back? Patton Oswalt. Oh my God, I'm glad we said it at the same time, or it would have not been good if we didn't do that. Anyway, Patton Oswalt, Eric, and I forget his brother's name. Thank you. He knows more than I do.
There's 5 Patton Oswalts in this show, canonically.
I love it. 5
brothers who are all played by Patton Oswalt.
I love it, man. I love it. I love Patton Oswalt. Speaking of big names, he's a big name on his own. And then all of a sudden, he's in this and in the movies. And I was just like, first time I seen, I was like, damn. I'm like, that's cool, but which one are you? Because there's like you said, there's 5 of them. So one of them is hiding in a S.H.I.E.L.D. base in the snow. Forget what that base was called. Remember that snow base they had to use?
I was just called the snow base.
The Hoth base there, the snow base. Then they had the other one who got shot.
Yeah.
By Hydra.
Ward shot
them. Yeah, Ward shot one of them. And I'm not sure where the other 3 are.
They start appearing in the later seasons. They'll be like, oh, and he's like, no, that's not me. I'm this one. But so there's only 2 in season 1.
No, 2, yeah,
but
that's right.
So the whole thing turns out in the Deathlock program, Project Stampede, it's all just been a part of
the clairvoyance game.
Yeah, because Garrett, his guts got blown out by a grenade.
That's right.
years ago, and the original Deathlock technology, which is it's old now, but it's what's been keeping him alive, and even that now his body is failing. So
that's why he injects himself with the drug GH325,
which is what brought Coulson back,
and Sky as well. Sky was also injected with it. How was she injected again? Do you remember?
Yeah, she got shot by this billionaire scientist, and during one of their missions, she was undercover, and he found out, and she shot her boom. And they're like, she's going to die. We can't get her medical attention in time. So they put her in this little chamber to slow down her death. And they're like, the only thing that can save her is the thing that saved Coulson. So they get the GH325, and they injected her with it, and she ends up being 100% healed.
Right.
And it also turns out, spoiler alert for you, it's actually Kree blood. And this is the first time in the Marvel universe when you see, other than the Chitauri, when you see an alien.
Right.
I remember, and there's a really spooky music. I remember being oh damn. When you see it, it's there's this blue alien who allegedly has been there for, they make it seem like thousands or hundreds of years. I don't know how long it was actually there for.
Right. That's actually a good point to bring up, the Kree blood. It's so big now because of what Captain Marvel.
Yes, everywhere now. But at the time, this was the first introduction to the Kree.
Well, what's his name, a Kree from Guardians of the Galaxy, or is he something else?
Ronan?
Yeah.
That hadn't come out yet.
When did that come out?
After this.
Okay.
It was around the same time, but that big reveal was before Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Which might be intentional.
Right.
Other aliens other than the Chitauri exist. Also,
the Kree.
Yeah, the Kree. True. That's what the blue guy was.
The Galaxy. Right. Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. And they used this drug to save, and that's what Project Tahiti was for, to save literally Coulson and hours. And Nick Fury literally was ahead of this Project Tahiti, as you know. And in this Project Tahiti, and it's interesting because Nick Fury was literally reporting. And Agent May, I'm going to say it now that we're just giving out all the spoilers in the freaking world here, might as well, right? Agent May was reporting to Nick Fury of Coulson's status of everything. There was a secret phone. You know about the secret phone on the bus?
From the show. I know about the phone.
Okay, so she's reporting on the secret phone, and Ward's like, "Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?" We're Ward kept bugging her, "Who are you speaking to?" Now it turns out Nick Fury was the one who directly ordered to save Coulson's life. Literally saying, "I'm not losing my best agent. We're literally working on this."
They rewrote his memories.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They have this creepy machine that and he keeps getting flashes throughout of all this horrific stuff that's happened to him. So he's
I feel bad for Coulson in the beginning of this,
It's honestly kind of one of the, I think what makes this the best season is the mystery.
Yeah.
You are as in the dark.
You're wait a minute, Coulson's alive? Say what?
So it's he's alive, and he knows he's alive, you know he's alive. Neither of you know how. She'll get a weird flash of memory of he'll be getting a massage in Tahiti. All of a sudden, he's on this metal table with a couple of scientists around him, this creepy spider-looking machine poking into his exposed brain for 2 seconds, and then it goes back to normal. And so you and Coulson are both what?
Indeed. And it's funny because, you had, and he remembers a flashback of Sam Jackson's character, Nick Fury, standing behind a glass wall with Hill. And I remember Hill saying, Maria Hill, once again, Colby Smulders, said, will this work, Fury? Is this going to actually work? And I remember his, Sam Jackson's response. Nick Fury said, this has to work.
Yep.
We need Coulson back out there fighting for the good, for the good of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because Coulson was a loyalist to S.H.I.E.L.D. He was always very loyal. He's a huge Captain America fan.
Yep.
And he was just really a great character in the MCU. And I think it's kind of interesting now, that Coulson is a big player. All of a sudden, he really wasn't. Like in Iron Man, he showed up once. Iron Man 2 showed up again. Thor, he showed up. Remember Thor?
He was like a mid-tier level guy.
And then this show puts him right in the spotlight.
Yep.
And like all the posters you see, not now, obviously, for season 6, but for all the other posters, he's in the middle. Of these posters, and I just always thought that was cool. Like always to have the big, posters and stuff. And it's just a great season overall.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, a lot of heart.
One thing I do want to bring up: Coulson's car.
Lala.
And it's funny in season 5, which we'll get to a little later on here. We'll do a season 5 after I watch it. Because I still need to watch the rest of it. No spoilers yet. For me. Anyway, he had the car, and he said in season 5, he's like, he goes, how hard can it be? I used to have a flying car. Lola was his flying car, which is one of the coolest freaking things ever. And the car flew. Yeah. And I remember Daisy and him at the end, he puts on his sunglasses like this, goes, buckle up. And he goes, it's going to get weird. Like, it's going to get weird real fast. Because if you want, he's like, you can jump in this car and join me. It's going to get weird real fast. Now, it's kind of cool as well that this all happened. But also, it's also kind of a shame that Hydra did take over S.H.I.E.L.D. I wanted to bring that up because it brings a question for Captain Marvel a little bit. I know I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know yet. But doesn't that mean that, now that Hydra knew about Captain Marvel now and knew about everything? Because Hydra was always in there up until they defeated Hydra again. Because they got the moles out of Hydra. I don't think there's any Hydra in S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever's left of S.H.I.E.L.D. now. Because S.H.I.E.L.D.'s falling, man. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no longer there. They're just, I guess, a ragtag team of agents. Because remember, in season 5, real quick, they're most wanted. Right. You know what I'm saying? So they're not really, favorable like they were. Like in season 1, they were flashing badges like, we're here, we're cleaning this mess up, have a good day. Like, get the hell out of here. Now, in season 5, we're not going into it that much, but I just want to say, they flash a badge, they might as well just chuck the badge in the garbage because it's useless.
And cuff themselves. They're wanted criminals.
So I think that, it is really different tone from 1 to 5, and now they're having a 6. I don't know if you know, they actually got renewed for a 7 before 6 came out even. A 13-episode run.
It better be good.
It might be 10 episodes. I'm not sure. I have to check. But the, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a great, I think this is one of the better seasons of it because of all the stuff. I love it because this show kind of puts you in the middle of that action you don't get to see. It puts you on the front lines of the weird and the crazy. Like, look, here's the deal. You see Captain America. We're talking about Infinity War last week. Here's the deal. We were talking about Infinity War. You see the Avengers fighting and this and that, You don't see what's happening, the cleanup of that
behind
disaster.
the scenes. And, like, the world-threatening things that aren't superhero worthy, because Captain America can't go fight every bad guy, take care of every little thing. The Avengers come in when something like that normal people can't handle. Right. S.H.I.E.L.D. does all the rest. So like a minor alien object is found. You gonna call in Captain America and Iron Man for that? No. Thor's not coming down for that. Someone's still got to deal with it. These are the guys who deal with it.
Well, there was one time, speaking, I think it was season 2, though. It might have been season 1. I can't remember, when they season, I think it was season 1. Lady Sif came down.
Well, yes,
They
yeah.
had to
You do
clean
get
up the Thor's
Asgardians
mess.
sometimes.
Right after Thor, they had to go out to London. Do you remember that? It might have been season 2
That
when they went out with Thor.
I believe that was season 2. Lady Sif came down season 1 when an Asgardian escapes to Earth, an Asgardian criminal.
Right.
So she has to help them track down this
Down to
criminal.
Earth. That's right. That's right. In season 2, they go out to London and they talk to the professor about Thor and stuff. I always liked that.
Yeah,
You know,
it ties in so organically, and that I think is part of actually why I like the earlier seasons better, is because they put in so much effort to tie them into the other movies.
Right.
It almost feels like if you watch the whole thing, it feels like
this show
another
is
movie.
part of the cinematic universe.
Yes.
Ultimately, what it comes down to at the end of the day, this show is ultimately part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It has a right to be there. You know what I'm saying? It has a right to be part of this universe.
Like it's earned its
deserves
spot, and that's
it deserves its spot. You know, going in, I'm assuming we're doing closing statements here, unless you have anything else. But going into our closing statements, my closing statement is this show deserves to be on ABC. This show deserves to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I cannot wait to see in May what they do with the rest of this show, because the Avengers tie-in just happened, and I'll see how that is, and we'll get back on here for another day on how the Avengers tie into it, because it always does. Like at the end of one of the seasons, Hill's like, we have Loki's scepter, by the way. We're bagging tagging it, and we're sealing it up in these warehouses. And I forget what the warehouses are called, but they have like these secret warehouses, as you know. I love it. I love this. This show is great. It got 7, 6, and 7 are coming out. 6 comes out in May. 7 comes out probably sometime next year. I love that they brought Coulson back. I love that Ward was Hydra in the opening of this. Bill Paxton was awesome in this, and it's unfortunate he passed away, like I said. So it's a shame, but ultimately, this show's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
My second favorite season. This was my second favorite season. My favorite season B, like the second half of the season is my favorite part of not just the season, but favorite of all the seasons is my favorite, because just the whole Hydra thing, Ward, Triskelion blowing up, the Hub being overtaken by Hydra, John Garrett, being the clairvoyant, Deathlock being a villain, but a good guy, but a villain, but a good guy. I really liked this season of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the end of it. So, what do you think, Mikey?
I think overall this season is my second favorite season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I agree.
I think it's one of the best, and I think it really, like Matt said, it ties together the whole cinematic universe. It is an amazing show. 10 out of 10, would recommend.
I agree, man. I mean, look, if you guys can go and watch it, it would be awesome, But make sure you watch us first. But then again, watch the little bit of the show, and then watch us, because we spoil it, obviously. But so that's going to be it for this episode. What are we going to do?
We're either doing Captain Marvel or season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., depending on when we decide to upload each video.
This video, yeah, okay. So I think S.H.I.E.L.D. season 2 might be our next go-ahead here. And then we'll start talking about the other stuff. Because I do want to, and before we jump off, I do want to do Punisher. We'll get to Punisher. We'll do the Netflix as well, but I also want to get to Agent Carter too. We're gonna do Agent Carter eventually.
All of
it, because we're gonna do a lot of this, man. This is, like I said, we're officially we're back now.
Weekly videos.
So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you guys comment down below your thoughts, your opinions about S.H.I.E.L.D. If you disagree with us, if you agree with us, let us know.
But you're wrong.
Definitely follow us on Facebook at Marvelous Discussion. I will link down the page below. Follow us on Twitter at Marvelous Discussions as well. I will also link below. And don't forget, like I said, to hit the subscribe button. And make sure you hit the notification button, because that's now a thing on YouTube, it turns out, Mikey. I didn't know this. I'm not hip with these terms, you know what I'm saying? So I got to get with the lingo here. But thank you again for joining me, Mike.
Of course, my pleasure.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it just as much as we enjoyed making it. So please try and support us. And, we'll keep doing this as just as much as you watch it. So I'm Matt Kelly.
And I'm Michael Chirichella, signing
off.
Your mouse doesn't work.